I can see the comments.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm back with Scotty. We are doing our weekly podcast. We're back. We took a little hiatus because of the Eagles ramming their fucking dicks up everyone's asses in the playoffs, and now we're world champions, going for number 2 next year. How you doing, Scotty?
Yo, what's going on, Nitro Freak? Congratulations, everybody. Philadelphia Eagles 2017, 2018 world champions. Doesn't get any better than that, guys.
It doesn't. World fucking champions. It's really a dream come true because ever since Carson Wentz went down, the vibe in the city was a little off. Everyone didn't know how the team was going to go. Everyone didn't know what was going to happen. But little do they know, I knew that this team was more than just the QB. Sure, Carson Wentz had an MVP year. He was amazing this year. But I saw the defense when he went down. They played like a band of brothers. This team wanted it. And when you win a title, you have to play as a team. It can't be a me player type of team. You have to play as a team, and this is exactly what this team did. The defense actually didn't show up until the end of the game in the Super Bowl, but it doesn't matter because you know what? Nicky Six, Nicky Franchise, whatever you want to call him, Big Dick Nick, stepped up when it mattered. Clutch as shit, championship game, Super Bowl, world champs.
This is the most underrated Super Bowl winning team of all time. It has to be. It's up there for sure. I'm going to say it's number 1. The amount of disrespect and, this team was not favored to win any playoff game the entire run. Very few, even hardcore fans. I know you were one of them. I was not. I picked them to win, throughout the playoffs, but I didn't think they could go all the way. Obviously, didn't think they could win it.
Yeah.
But just the most disrespected, most underrated team, proved everybody wrong. Maybe the greatest sports victory of all time. Definitely in the city of Philadelphia, but maybe all time for sports.
No, definitely. And I was at Xfinity Live. It was fucking crazy, dude. Like me, I was there with me, Eagles fan for life, 17, my friend Antonio, my friend Kat, and my friend Mike. And it was just a time of my life. At the end of the game, I was so overly emotional that I actually passed out for 3 seconds and I hit my head on the ground. The bouncer is the first person I saw, and he said, "Dude, are you okay?" I got back up with the biggest smile on my face, and he gave me the biggest high five ever. It was like the most surreal experience ever because did I think we were going to win the Super Bowl? Yes, but until you actually win it, until you actually feel it, it's like a dream come true. And it's like none of us, and I'm going to say this for the whole fan base in the Philadelphia Eagles, cross Philly, cross the world, whatever. If you're a real fan of this team, you never in your wildest dreams thought that this team would be hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. And I don't want to hear anybody say, yes, I did, yes, I did. No, you didn't.
Especially this season.
Yeah, especially this season. And I know I said, like, I'm a huge Nick Foles fan. And trust me, I'm going to admit right now, after the Oakland game, I had a little bit of doubts because he didn't look good. He didn't look fresh. But then I was like, all right, versus Atlanta Falcons, he looked a little better. And I was like, if he could play just like he did against Atlanta, we could beat Minnesota, and, hey, we'd have a shot against the New England Patriots. He fucking took out his bag of tricks and just delivered better than any QB I've ever seen in Philadelphia Eagles history. This was absolutely incredible, and it could have happened to a much better person, like an even better person. He is the right guy to win us our first title because the way he left here, he got completely embarrassed, and the fan base always said he sucked, like backpedaling. I felt so good for the guy.
What do I call him? I call him a giraffe, right?
Yeah, you called him a giraffe, and I didn't really appreciate that, Scotty. And he's a legend. He's a winner. He's my favorite Eagles player of all time. It's just unbelievable. It really is.
He pretty much played like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady combined in the playoffs.
Exactly.
0 interceptions in the playoffs, or the one tip in the Super Bowl. Does that really even count? Didn't really matter that play. 1 turnover in 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not much more you can ask for. Almost had pretty much had a perfect playoff. Rivals that Joe Flacco run in 2012, I would say, of just complete dominance.
No, it's so funny you said that because do you remember watching the Dallas Cowboys game, the last one? Dude, that game was horrible. I actually walked out of a sports bar, not sports bar, the shitty dump shithole bar that's near my house. I walked out of that bar the third quarter of that game because I was just so bored I couldn't watch it anymore. On his second drive, he threw one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen. All right. And I'm like,
off his like back foot and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you look at him now, calling plays, calling the Philly special, the best Super Bowl play of all time. You see him calling these plays. It's like a completely different player. He brought back that 27-2 Nick Foles, and that's exactly what I expected. A lot of people are like it was a fluke. Those flukes just don't happen. You have talent. You just need to bring it out, and he did, and now we're world champs.
Like we said, he is just the most – I mean, obviously he's at the highest he's ever been right now, but when he plays well, he plays like the best ever. When he plays like shit, he plays like the worst ever. Yeah. And if he's got pieces around him, I mean, even the defense played like shit, like you said in the Super Bowl. It was all on Nick Foles' back, and he delivered every single time. You know, it was a flawless performance. Not much else you can say. The greatest performance, the best game in Eagles history, the best quarterback performance in Eagles history. I mean, it's just speechless. It's the greatest moment ever of our lives.
No, it really is. And you know what? It makes me want it more. And I know we're going to get another one. I know we're going to get another 4, honestly. I'm very cocky, and that brings up my next topic. Are we bad winners, Scotty?
Well, do you remember – I don't know how drunk you were, but I met you what pizza place did I meet you at? And we went to Broad Street on Sunday night.
Shit.
Whatever. You were so drunk that night, but we were –
probably one of the more shittier pizza places. I don't even remember.
We were in the thick of the Eagles fans. We kind of started near Temple and worked our way up to City Hall. We saw the chaos, the destruction, the love, the fucking everything.
It was better than the parade.
It honestly was. It was. All types of walks of life, black, white, Hispanic, you name it. Everyone was there celebrating together as one Eagles fan. And it was, again, one of the greatest times of my life.
No, it really was. You saw chicks grinding on cars. You saw people pushing down plants. You saw
signs being destroyed.
People grabbing stop signs and like hitting the lights.
Yeah, some kid ate horse shit.
Yeah, some kid ate horse shit and then he wiped it off his shirt and was like, "Oh, I'm disgusting," and then proceeded to eat the shit again. It was the most wild night in Philly sports history. It was crazy, and the fact that they said there was only 700,000 people at the parade is mind-boggling to me because it seemed like there was 700,000 people just on one side street.
I would say at least 1 million. You know, I don't know if I'd go more than that, but I'd say at least 1 million. You know?
Look, well, the Phillies had 2 million.
Yeah, I know. I don't know, man. It was cold. The Phillies was like, well, I guess that was like, when was the Phillies, like November? October.
Yeah.
But it was a cold motherfucking day. Like I said, my cousin almost passed out. I know some people that left that didn't even stay for the parade because they had to go.
Yeah.
But for the amount of people there, I actually got lost from my group. I was like I was like a fucking ant in like a big fucking crowd just to see the ceremony and everything. Mm-hmm. But it was definitely worth it. You know, these fans are the most loyal fans, the most passionate, and they are the best. Now we have the Super Bowl to back it up to prove it. We are the best fans in the NFL. Exactly.
And you know what? It's funny because I've never slept in my car before. Rooms were going for $250 in Philly. And I wasn't going for that. So I went to a parking garage, spent $24 for the day, and I slept in my car. Was it fun? No. But it was well worth it because I only spent Actually, I didn't spend $24 because my friend's dad, I brought them home, and he actually paid for my tab. So I didn't spend anything. And the only negative about the parade, and I'm not really a big parade fan. I'm just being honest with you. The only negative about this parade was that I couldn't take a piss anywhere. Like, I mean, there were porta potties on the other side, but there weren't porta potties on my side. So if I wanted to go to the bathroom, I couldn't. That's why I had to leave right before the Eagles got to the steps. I saw that the trains, the buses go past and everything, but that was pretty much what I saw.
Yeah, I actually had to take a piss. I actually went down like, I don't know if you know, it was like big. How muddy was it there? Were you on the muddy side?
Dude, it was disgusting.
My sneakers got wrecked, so I almost slid and fell on my ass going down some mud pile. But I didn't really care. It was just a day of celebration. Anything goes. I know girls that were squatting around like 100 people just so they could piss. It was insane. It was electric. Like I said, one of the greatest moments, any sport, any place, any time in history. And then I would definitely say at least 1 million people there,
No, I'd say more. And rebuttal to what you just said, I'm going to say the best moment of the parade, I'm not even going to lie to you. This is going to sound really fucked up. But we were walking out, me, Danny, and his dad, and there was this girl climbing a pole. And this other guy that climbed the pole all the way to the top. They shook hands when they got to the top. This girl, I was jamming to Biggie Smalls because they were playing Juicy, and I was like, yeah, this song's awesome. And we were leaving, so I was like whatever. This girl falls back first. The lamp just caves on her. She falls back first. A huge fight breaks out. Pandemonium.
I almost got like 3 fights. Some girl ripped my hat off. I had like a construction hat on. I couldn't find an Eagles hat that day. And she's like, oh, this looks like Steelers colors because it said like Chase on it. And I'm like, are you serious? I wasn't trying to get in a fight, but she ripped it off my head. And I said a couple things to her, but it is what it is. Take the good with the bad. You know, it's a million people. Not everyone's going to be a saint out there. So,
no. And, you know, it's whatever. You take the good with the bad with the good.
To answer your original question, did we celebrate bad? No, because there's no proper way to celebrate, you know, a 58-year drought, never winning a Super Bowl. Obviously, you don't want to kill somebody, but if you want to have fun and it gets out of hand, you're young, you only live once. This might be a once in a lifetime thing. I really didn't have a problem with anything that went on, you know.
No, and to answer your question, I couldn't disagree more. This is awesome. I am going to have the time of my life this off season, and all we have to say to people that always make fun of our team, always make fun of our franchise is we're the most recent Super Bowl champions. Like, that's all you got to say. I saw this Dallas Cowboy fan the other day, and they were like, hey, we got 5 rings. And I'm like, hey, since when? When was the last time you had it, motherfucker? Before the millennium started? So, do we not have 5 rings yet? It's the truth. But let's just soak this one in, and then let's go back for another one because we're going to be annoying people for the whole off season, and it's our time to do so. We don't have to hear these jokes anymore. This is our time to make fun of other people's fan base and say that we're going to go back to back. Because in my opinion, we're going to go back to back to back to back. We're going to get 4 in a row, and we're going to tie the New York Giants, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Boom.
That would be insane. I'm going to say back to back. I could see us definitely getting back, but I want to take it, you know, one game at a time. Enjoy the moment because say even you win 4 in a row, like that's something incredible, you know?
Dude, like Giants, dude, Bad Dog would jump off a bridge.
Like that would just be the craziest thing ever, honestly.
Yeah, and there's this one Giants video maker called Kyle Pizzle. He made this really retarded video the other day. He was like, the Eagles, what fan base would you rather be like right now? Like if you're a new fan going into the game, who would you rather support? The Giants or the Eagles?
Obviously the Eagles.
Like, are you retarded? Like, why would you make that video?
I saw Bad Dog's video on it. I don't know. They're fucking depressed, man. They're lost. You know, even when they won their Super Bowls, you know, they got lucky. It was like, you know, a roll of the dice one year, and then they went back to sucking. You know, they won at 10-6, 9-7. They didn't have a dominant season like we did throughout, especially with our backup quarterback. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And you know, and the Giants fans are comical. It's gonna be that just sparked up the rivalry even more because we always own them. We swept them last year. We're gonna sweep them this upcoming year. We're gonna sweep them the year after that. They're not gonna win against us probably in the next 5 years, but it's whatever.
Well, that's what I was telling Eagles speed. I feel like the Eagles-Giants rivalry. I mean, I know that's still your biggest one, but I feel like Cowboys might have taken over that a little bit for me at least. Yeah. And I feel like Eagles-Giants could now be number one just about the Super Bowl talk, you know? Like, who has more rings in the 21st century, you know?
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I understand – listen, I understand why the fan base hates the Dallas Cowboys. They're annoying. Their owner is annoying. Everything about them is annoying. But when it comes to pure football and when it comes to being the best, I feel that the Giants are the more heated rivalry because you now have that comparison. We are the only franchises to beat the best QB of all time, all right? And now we're going to go back and forth. This just heated it up because now it's going to be like, oh, we're going to beat you guys this week. No, we're going to beat you guys this week. It's going to be crazy. And I can't wait to go back to MetLife Stadium because I do think they're going to be a little bit better next year.
The Giants, yeah. I mean, they can't be any worse.
Yeah. I think they'll be a little bit better, and they'll definitely they'll benefit from the number 2 pick overall. I don't think they're going to pick a QB. I think you're going to pick a running back.
Well, you know what they're doing, right? They're trying to become the Eagles. They
Yeah,
hired
they are.
Pat Shermer as head coach. Now you got all
It
the Deuce
sucks.
Staley rumors. So they're pretty much trying to become the Eagles now.
I listen. I don't hate Pat Shermer. I just don't think he's a qualified head football coach.
Yeah, he failed with the
Um,
Browns. I mean, he's had success offensive coordinator, but we know being a coordinator and head coach is two way different things.
yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's definitely interesting now since we just won the title, but
Mhm.
it's surreal saying that, man. It really is.
It's just honestly, it's crazy because the defense played like shit. Schwartz did not have did not call his best game, obviously. I mean, he was playing the best of all time, but I mean, we did that even though our defense was all time bad. It's surreal.
Yeah, it really is, dude. And it makes me want more. It really does. Like I don't want to stop here. Like all my life, I've always wanted like titles after titles after titles. Out of all my sports team, this is the second championship I've ever celebrated. Out of all my sports teams,
That's awesome.
it is awesome. And I can potentially have 3 championships in a calendar year. This is the best feeling of my life. It really is. And in my opinion, the next team in Philly to win a championship will probably be either the Flyers or the Sixers. The Phillies aren't ready yet, but they'll get there.
Besides the Eagles, you mean?
Yeah, besides the Eagles. I think the Eagles are just primed right now to make a run for like a dynasty. But besides the Eagles, I could definitely see the 2 teams winning one in the near future.
Yeah, we'll see if we could trust the process or not. See if that all ends up working out. I don't know what's up with Markel Fultz. Is he officially done for the season, or what? There's just always something new in Sixer land,
Yeah, I think he's done. I mean, Celtics fans were coming on my page the other day saying, what about Fultz? Danny Ainge screwed you guys again. I just showed them Tom Brady dropping the Lombardi trophy. I was like, you know what? I don't care if you're a Patriots fan or not, but that is a great response, and I don't even care because everyone knows that Eagles, they're first in this town. Our basketball team is probably number 2 or 3. It's not – it doesn't bother me.
I mean,
It
honestly,
really
the Phillies are 2. I would say that.
Really?
I would say that. The Flyers are definitely 4. Come on.
I mean, the Phillies do have the second biggest stadium, if you want to put that there. But basketball-wise, I don't know. Because when the Sixers
If the Phillies were good, there would be people out there.
but when the Sixers are good, I feel like it has more of a population when it comes to fans because everyone likes basketball.
Yeah,
Every
I know.
culture.
I like basketball more than baseball too. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like the past 10 years, I mean, obviously the Phillies went to 2 World Series, won one of them, but I would just say baseball is more, I mean, it's America's pastime sport. It's probably I would still put it at number 2. I know basketball has taken over a lot of that, percentage, but
Yeah.
I don't know. In this town, it's tough. We don't know because when's the next time the Phillies are going to be good? That'll really tell us. Phillies or Sixers, who's number 2 when the Phillies are finally good again.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they have a great form system, but they need to get some good pitching because without pitching, you're nothing.
It's been like what? It feels like almost 10 years since they've really had a chance to compete.
Who, the Phillies?
Yeah.
No, 2012 was their last year.
Even though that feels like forever ago now.
Yeah.
Especially with how many games they play. The seasons in baseball are just so long. You see so many losses, so many bad teams. It hurts a fan base.
It really does. And,
it's not like football where you can just turn it around in a season.
No. I was bringing that up to my friend. I was like, it took us so quick, but football is the easiest sport to do that because all you have to do is hire the right coach and you have to scope out the right talent. And if you put it all together in a team, you could win easily because it's the shortest season in all sports.
And luck is involved a lot with football. Only, like you said, 16 games and 3 games to win a championship in the playoffs.
Yeah, for us it was 2 and then 1, so 3. But it's a wild ride because everything was going bad in Philly sports last year. Everything, hockey team sucks.
For years, probably from like 2012 to now, almost, or a year ago.
Yeah, and the thing is I would go to so many hockey games because I love hockey. It's like one of my favorite sports. I would go to so many hockey games, and I think in 2015 I went to like 20 hockey games and like one playoff game, which was miserable because we got blown out by the Washington Capitals.
Is that when you threw the bracelets on?
Yes, that was yep.
You're one of those fans, right?
I was one of those douchebag asshole young cocky fans, but that was the last time that Philly sniffed the playoffs before this. And now it just took such a turn that you go from fans throwing wristbands onto the ice to having a world champion team that's never won before. It's just crazy, man. It's unreal.
It's just like nothing. I mean, obviously, if they win again, it will compare to this, but no other team winning will compare to this. And it's not going to bring everyone together. Like, even, I mean, I don't know how you feel about like casual fans and people that just became fans a month ago. But like, if you can enjoy any of this, obviously, it means so much for us longtime fans that have grown up with this team since like 2000 at least and watched almost every single game.
Yeah.
But I mean, just the way this brought the city together, people that don't even follow football like religiously. I mean, it's larger than life, you know. So many people, you know, whatever you liked about this team, if you liked Carson Wentz, if you liked, you know, the Band of Brothers, if you liked, you know, just how they were the underdogs, there was something for everyone on this team, and I feel like that's never happened before with any other team ever.
No, never. And opening night's going to be unreal. I know the tickets are going to be probably expensive as shit, but it's going to be fun because it's the first off season where I don't expect a long layoff. You know, I can enjoy my life. I can enjoy going to DJs.
Absolutely. I feel like we need, like, not that we need a break, but it will be nice to just take a step back and enjoy it, you know?
Yeah. And you know, it's like I was just saying, like I could go down the shore, not even worry about anything, just have fun and
not be depressed for an off season. Yeah.
Not drive down one-way streets and
let's not bring that up on YouTube.
Yeah. One of my friends did that last summer. Scotty knows him pretty well. It was pretty brutal. But yeah, it was this was great, dude. It really was.
Best ever. One of the best teams ever, best games ever. I mean, you can celebrate for as long as you want, and don't let anyone tell you how to celebrate or, you know, what you're doing is right or wrong, because it's like I said, this has never happened before. We hope it happens again, but if it doesn't, you know, enjoy it to the fullest.
Exactly. And you know what? I will say this to the fans of the other teams that were criticizing our fans for throwing beer at the player, like throwing unopened beer cans to the players. For us, that means when we're throwing the beer, we want them to open it and drink it. We're not throwing at them because we hate them. Yeah. We want them to drink the alcohol. And this is the first time, like I said, this is the first time that we've ever won. So I don't think the players.
I mean, and how cool was, like, even Doug Peterson? Like, everybody was cool about it. Like, they understood it. Like, did you see that catch by Doug Peterson? Like,
that was great. He's a crusher, man.
Like everything. It was just a perfect day. And, you know, like you said, fuck all the people that, you know, don't get it, or the old heads that are like, oh, you're doing this, doing that. You know, it was a time to celebrate, and it was a good day. Like, just have fun. Try and be a kid again for one day. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? It's like I have my love-hates with this fan base. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot of fans out there I can't stand, and there's a lot of fans that I love. But this was for everybody. You know, there wasn't one person that you could pick it out of a crowd and say, hey, they don't deserve this. Because every single Philadelphia Eagles fan, love or hate them, deserve this championship. Every single one of them. Because no matter how much you disagree with people, they still stuck through thick and thin with this team through the really awful years. I mean,
it's just crazy the amount of fans this team has for never winning it. Like, it's just unheard of. Is there any even other team that comes close? The Vikings maybe, but they're the worst type of fans, you know?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say the Vikings fans are the worst type of fans. I'd say they're the softest.
They're salty.
Yeah, they're really salty. Like, I mean, there was this one Patriots fan that had a shirt on saying,
we wouldn't act like that. We would blame ourselves. We wouldn't blame another team for losing. We would blame our own coaches and players, which is the right thing to do, you know? Like, we're not going to take it out on somebody else unless it was like a bad call, the refs or something. Mm-hmm. But if we lost the game, we're always pounding our own team. We're not fucking where they weren't even mad at their own team for not showing up. They're more mad at us for beating them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we didn't only beat them, we pounded their fucking dicks into the dirt. Like, they shouldn't have even showed up. Like, it was comical. They had that one drive that ended with Kyle Rudolph catching the ball. I had a great 50-yard line view. I felt like a rich person for a day.
I'm so jealous you were there. I wish I could have been at that game, but
no, it was amazing, dude. I wish you were there too. But, you know, that first drive, I was like, okay, we got to get back. All of a sudden, the pick six, I was like, that's it, game over, send him home. It was just unbelievable. And honestly, I think I liked that game more than the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's close. I think the Super Bowl, just because it was a competitive game, even down to like the last minute, the last play, the Hail Mary by Brady, and then just like adding up the points. All right, do we need to go for a 2-point conversion here? They're down by 8. What do they need? Like, I feel like that was exciting, and that's what being a sports fan about. Domination is fun, but I feel like Super Bowl game, it's good for everybody if it's a competitive game, I guess.
It's tough to enjoy the Super Bowl. When you're winning the NFC Championship game like we were, it was fun because we were at home and our fans were there. It's tough to enjoy the game like a Super Bowl because the whole time you don't know what to do because you're facing the best team on the other side, and either team has it. There's not one lopsided or unbalanced part to these teams. And both defenses didn't show up. It was an offensive juggernaut the whole game. And the way it just ended was perfect. Because our defense, like I said, did not show up that game. The only times they showed up before that strip sack is when Malcolm Jenkins put Brandon Cooks out of the game. That's the only time they showed up because they were getting no pressure on Brady whatsoever. I don't know what the offensive coordinator did on the Patriots side, but they did a phenomenal job protecting for Tom Brady.
Absolutely.
It was ridiculous.
All right, do you want to answer some questions in the chat here?
Yeah, if there are any good ones.
I know we're looking for it. Alrighty. Premier23 says, Nitro, do you think there's still salty Cowboys fans out there?
There always will be. And you know what? They are so salty that they'll bring up their 5 rings. I mean, they're not wrong when they say they have 5 rings, but were they alive to see them? I understand some old heads, like you said. I like those 2 words combined because yes, they're old because it was such a long time ago. That I've seen them, but my friend Kyle, he loves the Dallas Cowboys, and he always brings up the 5 rings, and he's never ever seen a Super Bowl. On Sunday after the game, he was so jealous that I saw a Super Bowl before him that he was like. He was about to cry.
Well, there's no more bandwagon fans. Like there's not going to be people that are born now are going to be Eagles fans, like without a shadow of a doubt. There's no switching over. And honestly, probably some Cowboys fans are probably going to become Eagles fans that were just fans because they had a Super Bowl and we didn't. That's literally why they became fans.
I mean, unfortunately, we're going to have some bandwagon fans. It happens to every single team, and it's weird hearing people say, oh, you're a bandwagon Eagles fan. Like, to me, that's a compliment. Because when someone calls you a bandwagon Eagles fan, it's like, well, we did just win. So, I mean, it's like, it's weird. I don't know. People are fucking stupid.
All right, got another question here. Which NFC East rival does Philly have the strongest mutual hate for? That's pretty. I mean, Cowboys or Giants. Giants or Cowboys.
Yeah, Redskins, like, I don't know. I mean, I hate the Redskins too. I'm probably one of the only Eagles fans that actually hates the Redskins. I don't like their fans. There's this one old fan that wanted to fight me and Scotty last year. Well, more Scotty, but and this I hate their fans. I hate their stadium. I hate their parking lot.
It's just like everybody is sore losers in this league. I mean, from the Vikings to the Redskins, and then somehow we get labeled like the worst fans. Like it makes no sense,
Yeah, it's because we threw snowballs at Santa Claus.
It's insane. Like, yeah, there's some instances that we fight fans after a loss, but like I said, we're more mad at ourselves and our players, and we'll fight our own fans. We're not going to fight other fans.
Exactly.
That's usually more how it goes.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Honestly, it's our fans are just like everyone else's fans in any other sport. Well, yeah, any other sport. But the problem is when you show the negative, that's all you get with Philadelphia online. Because they'll take the negative things, put them online, but they won't take the positive things. Like when Sidney Jones lost his phone the other day, that was very positive. They returned it to him.
That was insane.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, they might have hacked his Instagram, but it is what it is.
Yeah, whatever. It's fun. It's all fun. It's not like they put a naked picture on there or whatever. They just put a picture of themselves. And and LeGarrette Blount giving the hug to that one girl. They should put stuff like that online all the time, and not like negative things like eating dog shit or like fucking throwing batteries at people and throwing beer cans at people. Like those are the 5% of fans that no one accepts.
It's just you have to have fucking intelligence to realize there's both, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and some people just focus on the negatives. Like, I feel like you can still have fun with that and joke about it, but then, like you said, post the positive stuff too. Like, don't be just super negative, you know?
Exactly. And I saw this one tweet. I'm actually pulling it up right now. I saw this one tweet that it's right here. This is something negative turned into a positive. It says, I don't know if you can see that. It was to whoever threw a glass bottle at my sister's head during the parade. I completely understand. Go Birds. and she's in a hospital bed, all bloodied up.
God, holy shit.
Her response was like, "Thank you."
I just feel like it's like an age difference type thing too. Like, I don't think someone that's old would have appreciated that. But I mean, it just is what it is. You got to realize you're at an Eagles parade. It's the city of Philadelphia. It's never happened before. Like, you have to expect it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's just our fans are wild.
Yeah.
Like, they just are. We party like champs. We party like Neanderthals. We knock over plants that don't do anything wrong. But it is what it is. Sue us.
Tommy Lee. Who is the other guy, Kyle? I am your boy Scotty. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also on Twitter at Scott_Bowl.
Yeah, he's going to be on my weekly podcast. We're recent graduates at CSB down here in Cherry Hill. And it's a very good school. If you guys are into broadcasting, definitely come here because they teach you the in and outs of broadcast and how to operate things. It's really good. It's a little pricey, but it's worth it.
Yeah, shout out Connecticut School Broadcasting. Who are the other hosts for this podcast besides Kyle? Like we just said, my name is your boy Scotty on YouTube. Nitro, do you think Carson would have an added pressure to win another Super Bowl, or will have pressure to win a Super Bowl more now?
Oh, cool. Good question. Very good question. Who said that?
Marcos or Macros Levy?
Macros Levy. Good question, man. Shout out. I'm gonna say yes. Reason why I said that is because, especially if we keep Nick Foles. If Carson Wentz has a bad year next year, I'm not saying he will, but if he has a subpar year next year and Foles is on the bench, you're going to have some of that fan base that's like, put Foles in. Like, I hate to say that, but Foles has a fucking Super Bowl championship.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to ride the bench, and if Wentz is playing bad, yeah, I'd have to say there's a lot of pressure on the guy. I do.
It is like it's untapped. It's like an untapped situation. We've never experienced this before.
Yeah.
And it's usually like the quarterback that wins the Super Bowl takes over the other person's job. You know, like you can go back to Tom Brady and Drew Bledsoe. I'm trying to think if there was like Steve Young and Joe Montana. Obviously, that kind of happened before he won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely going to be interesting. I think they're two selfless dudes. I think Wentz has more of an ego than Foles. Obviously, yes. You could just tell that, even though Wentz is a great guy about, God and everything. But Foles, I mean, to say that you're still the backup quarterback after winning the Super Bowl MVP,
it's crazy.
I think that I've definitely obviously gained a lot of respect from him after, throughout this playoff run, just how he's conducted himself as a player and a person. So it's going to be interesting. I think Wentz definitely has a chip on his shoulder now, but I do expect Wentz to come out and play lights out. That's just me. I think he's smart enough to know that this is what he has to do. Yeah. And it's not like he wasn't under any pressure this entire season playing good teams. He had the bad game against Seattle, but he had great games, in Dallas on Sunday night, Carolina Thursday night, against the Redskins Monday night. So he's been under pressure. He has not played in the playoffs yet, so we'll have to see how that goes. But I wouldn't say that Wentz is going to fold under the pressure. I think.
Yeah, and you just brought up a valid point. Us going into the playoffs this year with Nick Foles, he had that playoff experience. And what if Carson Wentz – now, this is going to sound crazy, but would Carson Wentz have had the same exact success that Nick Foles did if he was still playing?
I know it's up in the air. You go back to that Rams game, how good Wentz was playing. That's obviously the last time we saw Wentz, and the last play he had was a touchdown pass for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
So, and that was with the torn ACL and whatever else he's got. So I'm going to say yes, just because that's the last thing we have to go off of. Obviously, injuries are, can change people, can change players. I mean, it's going to be the biggest question of the offseason, even if it's like we don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And Foles going to be here for one more year guaranteed unless he's traded. But they obviously cannot re-sign Foles and Wentz. And Wentz's contract is up in what, 2 years?
Yeah, and he's going to get a max deal.
So, it's going to be Wentz regardless. Even if they don't win the Super Bowl next year, say they lose in the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl, how are you going to feel with Wentz as the quarterback?
It depends what the situation is, because if he lays an egg, I wouldn't feel good. If he plays his heart out and he plays with poise and the defense lets us down, I would feel pretty good. But there's no better feeling than what I'm feeling right now. And that's the problem, because say we do trade Nick Foles away, all right, and we get a first-round pick, because that's all we're going to ask for him. We're not going to get a second-round pick for him. We want a first-round pick for him. He's a Super Bowl MVP. If we don't get that first-round pick, or if we do get that first-round pick and we trade him away, we're stuck with Sudfeld, because I know the answer already. Wentz isn't going to start week 1. He's probably going to be back week 5, week 6. And would you rely on Sudfeld for the first 5-6 weeks of the season?
Hell no.
Yeah. And it's
even though I honestly think Wentz will be back week 1, but that's just me.
And that's fine. Me personally, if he did come back week 1, I think he'd be rushing him. And I don't think he should be rushed, because he tore both his ACL and MCL. And usually that takes a year to recover from. And rushing him back with 9 months.
So even week 5 or week 6, that would be rushing him back, because that's not a year. We'll see. Obviously he's walking fine. We've seen him, but obviously that's different from playing. But we'll just have to see. Honestly, if they did trade Foles, I think you would draft a quarterback like 5th, 6th round maybe, or sign some veteran backup. I don't even know who's out there. Maybe like a Ryan Fitzpatrick type, something like that.
There's definitely some concerns. It sucks I'm saying this after we just won the Super Bowl, but there's definitely some concerns, because
I don't know if it's a concern. I think it's just interesting. I don't know about a concern. I guess it depends when Wentz is ready. Yeah. Honestly, you should keep Foles for 1 year, because it's just tough, man. I feel like someone will still give you something for Foles, Yeah,
it's let's just say, for example, you keep him and he plays week 5, week 6, and they're fucking undefeated. What do you do?
Oh, you don't. Don't bring Wentz back in. I know
it would be tough, and that's where it just raises some red flags, because it's like you just don't know what to do, and then it turns into, was Wentz really this good, or was it the system? It's just weird. It's weird, man.
It is weird. Filippo's gone for whatever that's worth, but you still have Peterson. It looks like you'll still have Frank Reich unless he goes to the Colts. So, let's just give Peterson some props. I feel like we haven't talked about him enough today.
No.
Greatest head coach in Eagles history. Should have been coach of the year. When Peterson was hired, I obviously had up and down thoughts. I wasn't completely shitting on him. I think I probably wanted Adam Gase at that time.
I remember.
But, Peterson he's been outstanding. A+ for me, proven everybody wrong, all the haters, all the doubters, and such a humble dude. Again, this entire team is just so humble for what they accomplished this year. Yeah, they had fun. They got drunk at the parade, whatever.
Jason Kelce was wearing that retarded costume.
They said fuck you to everybody. But besides that, they fucking held their heads high. They're Super Bowl champions. Props to Doug Peterson. Thank you so much for delivering the city its first Super Bowl title. He honestly, you can have a lifetime contract, in my opinion.
You could, and it's funny because Mike Missanelli on 975 The Fanatic, shout out to him, I guess. He said the other day that he still thinks Andy Reid is better coach than Doug Peterson was for the Philadelphia Eagles franchise.
I did not hear that.
Yeah, he said that overall he's still the best coach in Eagles history because of all the consecutive years of success, even though he didn't win the big one.
That's bullshit because Dick Vermeil was the coach of the Rams for 2 seasons and won a Super Bowl and then left. There's so many situations like just because you have sustained success, it's all about that one season. It's all about the one Super Bowl trophy. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah, exactly. It's about winning the big game and looking good doing so, and we looked fucking phenomenal doing so.
If you want Peterson to become one of the best head coaches of all time, then he's going to have sustained success. He'll have to win one more, and then he's one of the best of all time. Because there's the only head coach in the league to win 2 Super Bowls right now is Bill Belichick. Everybody else has won one and lost one.
Yeah.
And that includes, Sean Payton, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, all the best head coaches in the league. So
Sean Payton lost one?
I think he might only have one win. Yeah, he didn't get to another one.
He didn't get to another. Okay.
Who got the 2? Tomlin. I think that might be it. And Belichick. Oh, Pete Carroll
got there.
Pete Carroll got the 2.
Yeah, but that was stupid. I remember that. They actually should have 2 rings right now.
Yeah, that Seahawks team didn't last long, did it?
No, it really didn't. And I'm going to say that right now. Like, that's kind of a shame because that team was dominant. Like, I mean, they even beat us. They beat us this year and they looked pretty convincing doing so. And that's what I'm bringing up. Like, next year, we have to really fix our holes in our defense because it seemed this year we had a lot of problems with mobile quarterbacks. Like, a lot. Like, we avoided all the mobile quarterbacks in the playoffs this year. You didn't have Wilson. You didn't have Rodgers. You didn't have Alex Smith. And Alex Smith beat us, and Wilson beat us. Both mobile quarterbacks. And that's a problem.
Alex Smith's on the Redskins. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Oh, my God. Yeah, you just brought up a great point. So next year we'd have to face Alex Smith, Russell Wilson, and yeah, we have 2. We have
Cam,
2 right there.
I think we play Cam Newton again too.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, but I don't like Cam Newton.
Drew Brees, Matt Ryan. We play a lot of good quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'm looking at the mobile ones though. Alex Smith. Yeah, we have some tests next year.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a hard schedule. I don't think we play the Packers, so that's good. We'll play the Vikings again, which we own the Vikings at this point.
The Packers.
We don't even know who the Vikings quarterback's going to be.
Yeah, as it stands right now, the Packers are the second favorite to win the Super Bowl next year. It goes Pats, Packers, and Eagles.
I would say the Packers are definitely our biggest competition still. And honestly, the 49ers, people are on the Jimmy G bandwagon, so we'll have to see how that all works out.
He just got a ridiculous, huge contract. Like, that's ridiculous, man. Like, $137 million.
Insane. For what, 7 games I think he's played? Someone's knocking on the door.
Which one?
I don't know. I'm going to mute myself real quick.
All right, yeah. All right, Scotty will be right back. All right, but for right now, I mean, I just got to wait on him because we might have to leave. 1 second, guys. Nah, Bortles isn't a mobile quarterback. Yeah, what's up, Scotty?
I think this guy says in here at 1, so I'm going to try and move to another studio.
Oh, 1 o'clock?
Yeah.
It's 1:22.
I don't know. All right, give me 1 second.
All right, so he'll be back in like 10 minutes. But for right now, I'm going to answer some of you guys' questions. And all right, here we go. All right, Killen Crummel said, coming from a Packers fan, the Eagles look better in my opinion. Philly has depth, Green Bay doesn't. Yeah, but you're basing the Vegas odds off of Aaron Rodgers because the Las Vegas sees that Aaron Rodgers has always played us tough and always beat us. And when he's back there, you can't go against him because what I just say, we suck at defending against mobile quarterbacks. We suck at speed. Well, not speed, but when routes break down and you have multiple people wide open, the Packers are more dangerous than the Patriots to us at least. And it's very concerning. So we have to fix the holes next year. I think we will. You want Jacksonville? Well, I was thinking about going to London for that game. I thought it was really expensive, but I actually saw that flights and a hotel are actually $800 for 3 nights. That's not bad, considering the circumstances. I might have to hit that up, but if I were to go out to London, I would have to hit up a Manchester City game because I'm a big soccer fan too. I just don't tell anybody that because nobody likes soccer over here. But yeah, I definitely have to hit up a Manchester City game when I'm out there. All right, some more questions. We only lost. This is from Bleeding Green. We only lost 2-1 mobile quarterback this year. Wilson was running for his life the whole game. Wilson and Alex Smith. Alex Smith is a mobile quarterback. He's actually pretty quick. And now he's in the NFC East. So, yeah. It's a problem, but I think we could chew it up.
Yeah, can you hear me? I'm back.
Yeah, I can see you, man.
All right. It feels like every time we're here, something always happens.
Yeah, always. Like, people are, like, getting in our shot and, like, trying to play fuck around, but it's whatever.
All right. So you've just been answering some questions since I was off.
All right, so I got a question. This guy's got a question. Not sure. Here's a question for you. If we did trade Foles, do you think we could survive with Nate Sudfeld until Wentz come back? We actually just answered this. We're going to give you 100% no. Nate Sudfeld, I don't know if our fans were joking or not. I don't know if Scotty was joking or not during that Cowboys game. I have no clue. I hope he was joking. But when they said they wanted Nate Sudfeld over Nick Foles to start in the playoffs, it just got really weird for me. So, because I know Nate Sudfeld's he's not good. He had some zip in that last game, but
I'll admit I was half trolling and like not half serious, but like you said, you were scared with Foles in that Raiders game. Like he didn't look good. And it's hard, man. When the media is 100% against you, I mean, you really have to be a fan thick and through. And that's what we did this year. You know, it's tough, man. It really is tough. Like I said, I picked the Eagles to win all their playoff games, picked them to win the Super Bowl. But at that point in time, it didn't feel good. You know, we're all human. Nothing's perfect. But obviously, we want Foles over Sudfeld now.
We lost 6-0 to the Dallas Cowboys. Who wants to lose to the Dallas Cowboys on your own home turf? Nobody. But guess what? I didn't care about the game because I left the bar in the third quarter. I was so bored, and I knew the Cowboys were an awful football team.
Thank God I didn't go to that game because I heard that game was the worst game ever.
My friend said he was freezing his balls off, and then he left the game. He couldn't feel his feet. And the Dallas Cowboys starters scored 6 points against our backups.
With 1 minute left in the game?
Yeah, it's like at that point I didn't even care. And when I got home and saw 6-0, I was like, all right, time for New Year's Eve. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, we had better things to do. All right, another question here from Bacon Grizzler 69. So guys, how many Patriots fans have you seen accusing us of cheating in the last week?
None.
No Patriots fans, just every Eagles player, right? I'm kidding.
Yeah, pretty much. No, the Patriots fans have actually been respectful. I didn't think they would be, but they're actually taking this loss pretty good. And
it's one loss for them. They'll probably be back in the Super Bowl next year. It's sad, but who in the AFC is going to compete with them? It's just nobody. I mean, I could see the Jaguars falling off a little bit. Honestly, that's just me. I don't really know. It's the Steelers against the same old teams. It's the same old teams. No fresh young quarterbacks. Not like the NFC where there's 9 or 8 teams that are, pretty good teams.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends who gets home field advantage. Because if the Pats get home field advantage, they're going back to the Super Bowl. But if a team like the Steelers get home field advantage, Kansas City gets home field advantage, you could have some trouble there if you're a Patriots fan. But home field, forget
like I'm saying, it's the same old teams, like Chiefs, Steelers, maybe the Broncos if they can ever find a quarterback, even though they looked like shit this year. But
Texans,
Deshaun Watson if Andrew Luck comes back.
Yep.
But like I said, it's an uphill battle. It's such an easy road for the Patriots. It's not even fair. Like imagine if we were in the AFC, how easy it would be.
That would be ridiculous. We'd have like 10 Super Bowls by now.
It's crazy.
It would be crazy.
I'm trying to look for more questions.
The Pats are 5-5 in Super Bowls.
All time.
Yeah. 500.
The most ever, 10 appearances.
Yep.
Alrighty, let's see. See a lot of questions on here.
See a lot of Nick Foles questions.
I'm just trying to go back up from my work because I feel like I'm missing somebody. Am I right for thinking Foles will not have a higher value outside Philadelphia?
No, you're not wrong for thinking that. I mean, he didn't really produce in Kansas City. He didn't really produce in St. Louis. He produced in Philadelphia because he likes it here. And he likes to play here. He likes everyone here. And this is what I knew when he came back.
Which is kind of weird because he is from Texas, so it's kind of weird how he feels so comfortable, like in the cold and in the city. But
that's the one thing I'm worried about. I'm worried about the Cowboys taking him. And I would hate that. Like, it would actually drain me.
I think it would never give up on Dak. Dak's so overrated at this point. Like, he literally it's all you see him in that skills competition. Not that that was just funny.
Dude, a fan outperformed him.
Yeah, David Carr. That was funny. It's just like he honestly looks out of place now. Like for all the stuff, like all the commercials all like the media and everything. It's like you're not one of the top players in the league. Like, what are you doing? You know, it's honestly funny.
Yeah, it's like get real, and it's like grow up a little bit because without Zeke, you're nothing. And Zeke, even with Zeke, he's nothing. Like when he throws a 10-yard pass, it looks like he's using all of his might. Like he throws everything into it, and it's like
he's a good runner. I'll give him that. He's a really good. He's like he's got like a thick body. He's strong. He's like pretty fast, but I feel like he lacks like the football smarts, like the football intelligence a little bit, you know?
Yeah, big time. I agree, dude. And I don't know. It's a wonderful thing, but I just don't see the Cowboys doing anything within the next.
They're irrelevant, like we said before. All right, what do the Eagles have to do to repeat as champions next year?
They have to work on their defense. Offense is fine. I would bring in one more person, maybe. But defensive-wise, you have to plug the holes because our Super Bowl performance for defense was horrendous.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was really bad.
I forget who said this, but I could definitely see us taking a corner in the first round again, potentially.
I could see a D tackle. I can see that Caleb guy from Florida because I know he'd be there.
I don't know, but we have Cox and Jernigan locked up, so I don't know about a D tackle.
Yeah, but we don't have Graham locked up. We don't have
defensive end then, you mean?
Yeah. Well, he's defensive end. The Caleb guy from Florida.
I could see that. I mean, I feel like we're good. I mean, it sounds like Jason Peters wants to come back again, so I don't know.
I like Big V, though.
I do like Big V. That's what I'm saying. I feel like we don't need a tackle as much as we thought we did. I mean, he just won the Super Bowl. It's just funny that every player on this team is going to get a ring. Like it's just funny. Like all these players know how to do it now. They're all experienced. That's just such a huge advantage when you've been there and done it to do it again. Like even when it's like some like backup or like, oh shit, he won a Super Bowl. Let's put him on the team. You know, like that's huge. It really is. Like they always count up. All right, who won the Super Bowl from other teams? Like Malcolm Jenkins, Chris Long, LeGarrette Blount. Now when our whole team has a ring, I mean, there's nothing better. There's nothing better in the league than to have that experience.
No, there's really not. And like I just said, it's crazy, man. Like when you have experience, there's nothing better than that because when you go there the first time, you know how big of a stage it is. And then when you win on that stage, you're like, oh, shit, we can do this multiple times. Like Tom Brady going back to that game, he didn't even seem excited. He was like, this is just a business trip for us. We're going to do this again.
He was more worried about the documentary and the series he's putting out, right? All those
making out with his son and everything like that.
And then even Belichick at the fucking basketball game and the hockey game and shit.
Yeah, it's like it's so casual for them.
All right, Premier 23. If we trade Foles, what do we get for him? Kind of already answered this. We said like a first-round pick.
First-round pick. I wouldn't take nothing less.
Someone says nothing less than 2 first-round picks. LOL.
It's a little too much.
I don't want to trade Foles. Need a good backup quarterback in this league. Yes, but he's only going to be here for one more year, no matter what. You know,
and
most likely. So it's like, do you get the most you can get for him now, or do you have a good backup next year? It's 50-50, you know? Yeah. It really is. I could see it going either way. And I'd honestly be okay with it either way.
Yeah.
As long as we get some, decent veteran backup or draft somebody.
Yeah. Someone said Josh McCown.
Mm-hmm. for a backup.
Maybe. Possibly. It's not a bad one. Because Josh McCown has got me some good points on DraftKings this year, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Foolish Demon says, would the defense have been as good if Wentz was playing? I think Wentz getting hurt lit a spark under the defense.
I agree.
Not in the Super Bowl, but I think if Wentz was playing, maybe you think the defense would have stepped up for Foles more, and they didn't in the Super Bowl, but they did to get us there. So
yeah, I mean, when he went down against the Rams, like everyone was uncomfortable. Like the season's over. I just sat back and watched. I was like, let's see how they perform under Nick Foles. And the defense performed a lot better under Nick Foles than they did for Carson Wentz. And it's because they relied too much on Carson Wentz. Because Carson Wentz, he'd bring you right down the field, and he'd do it so quickly that the defense would get gassed. And with Nick Foles, he slows down the pace of the game so they can rest up.
The only thing about Nick Foles, I'll say, I'm not going to say he has anything left to prove. He just won a Super Bowl, but he has to be consistent. You know, if he wants, like, everyone's like, why is Nick Foles not a starting quarterback? It's because he's been inconsistent. Like, he's had the highest high and the lowest lows. Like, he's winning the Super Bowl and then he wanted to retire, you know? So it's hard to put a gauge on him. It's kind of sad. People would rather have, like, a Ryan Tannehill or someone that's, like, average, like a Matthew Stafford even, than someone that can win in the playoffs because they don't know what they're going to get, you know?
Who would you rather have, Matthew Stafford or Nick Foles?
I know, it's tough. It's really tough. Matthew Stafford's never won a playoff game, and Nick Foles just won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know, at this point, you have to give it to Foles. Why not? You know,
you really have to.
You have to give it.
And it's weird because we were talking about Matthew Stafford being the future of the NFL, and it just didn't work out because Megatron left him. I mean, he was like, "Listen, I'd rather retire and not do this than play with this team anymore."
I mean, quarterbacks are so valued in the league. And Jimmy Garoppolo just got a $75.5 million deal and played 7 games. What's the Super Bowl winning quarterback going to get paid? You know, like $200 million?
Now, what I would do is I would drop some of our cap space, create room, bring Megatron out of retirement, make the Lions eat half of his salary, and then bring him on the team.
I know, that'd be insane. I'm sure something crazy is up the pipeline with this team. People are like, "Oh, it's going to be a boring offseason because we have no cap space." Just wait. Like, do we think we're going to get Alshon Jeffrey last year? Hell no.
Amazing pickup. Amazing.
You know?
Since day one, I loved it. And when he caught that ball for the first touchdown, I was like, "Yep, that's why we got him."
Yep, and now he's going to be here for what, 2021, 2022?
Yeah. He loves it here.
Yeah, I love Alshon too. York, you already answered that question. Josh McCown. Could keep him till the trade deadline, then deal him to a needy team wanting to make the playoffs.
Again, it's where our situation lies. Like, if we're in a good situation where we can have Wentz go in there with him not playing a year and we could have some like room to work with, then sure. But if we're dire, there's no way. It's not happening.
So Foles played like shit in St. Louis, but everybody knew it was Jeff Fisher. Like, yes, that's true, but like, I don't know, man. Like, even if you have a shitty head coach, like, you still have to show some type of talent. It's just weird. I mean, I feel like if he's in a good situation with the offensive mind, has weapons around him like he did this year, then he can win it all. But it's just every team is so different. Every situation is so different, you know?
Well, I'd compare Jeff Fisher to Jay Cutler. Okay, you know exactly where you're getting with him. Average.
Has some type of talent, but not good enough.
He's just not good enough. Like, I mean, you know he has talent. You know it's there, but he never pulls it out. Okay, it sounded a little dirty. But all right, but you know what I'm saying. It just never gets there. And Jeff Fisher,
just like Andy Reid, right?
Yeah. Oh, fuck. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, but Jeff Fisher, I honestly believe that he almost ruined Nick Foles. I really do. Because when you're screwing up the play calling like Jeff Fisher consistently did in St. Louis, and you can tell because Sean McVay completely turned around that team. And I think he deserved Coach of the Year. I really do. I don't think that Doug Peterson deserved only one vote. But I think what Sean McVay did with that team in 1 year where they were last year, I think he deserved it. Jeff Fisher completely screwed up that franchise, and it showed. So
Yeah, I mean, I'd still give it to Peterson just to overcoming all the injuries and winning the Super Bowl, but
yeah,
just me. Because I feel like you have to give it to the best coach, because then sometimes like these coaches that have these like one good years, they don't turn out. Like I think Ray Rhodes won Coach of the Year for the Eagles back.
oh my god.
So it's like I think Chip Kelly could have won Coach of the Year in 2013, and look how he turned out. So it's like I think you got to give it to the best coach, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's funny. I was actually telling my friend last night. I was drinking some vodka clubs. I was getting a little twisted last night. I was telling my friend, listen, as much as I hate to say it, I kind of got to give the guy a little credit because he completely blew us up. Got rid of LaShawn McCoy, DeSean Jackson, got rid of all the players that just weren't good enough to win. And look where we're at now. Mm-hmm. Without him, we would not be here. It's just how it is. It's
definitely a two-way street. Like, I don't know if you saw DeSean Jackson on Undisputed yesterday. It's like he's a liar in my eyes, DeSean Jackson. Like, he had so many issues. I know Eagles Fan for Life was telling us about this. Like, you know, he would get speeding tickets all the time, and they would cover it up, give him, like, give the cops free tickets to the games, free autographs and stuff. It was just too many things time after time again, like getting caught with weed, different things like that. They seem like small things, but if you have all this going on, you're not focused on the game. You know, you're not going to play to your full potential. So, even McCoy's like that. He's got like a cocky attitude. Not saying that you can't win with a cocky attitude. Obviously, we've seen like primetime Deion Sanders do it, even Michael Irvin to an extent. But in today's day and age, like the Patriots way, you have to be humble. You have to play as a team. You have to, you can't. When's the last time a team of like superstars won? I guess you could say like the Broncos, maybe that free agency. But you have to, you have to grind. You can't be about yourself. It has to be about the team because you can't win by yourself.
Yeah, and you saw this exact same thing with the Carolina Panthers. They went 15-1, and they got smoked.
It was all Cam.
Yeah. That's another example. You got to play like a team. It was definitely all Cam, and Cam folded when it mattered the most. And you just can't do that
because Cam didn't have anyone to lean on.
No.
It was just Cam leaning on Cam. So
yeah, exactly.
Because that team honestly wasn't even that good. They had Josh Norman, but the offense, it's always been Cam in Carolina.
Yeah, it always has. And the thing is, you don't know you're getting with Cam either. He's another Jay Cutler. He's a little better, though. The thing with Cam is he can perform like Tom Brady one game, and then the next game he'll perform like absolute shit. So you don't know what you're getting with him. And the game that we got him, we should have blew them out, personally, but just didn't happen that way.
We were still working things out at the beginning of the season, still playing teams pretty close.
Yeah.
Coming from a Packers fan, the Eagles look better, in my opinion. Philly has depth. Green Bay doesn't. That's true. But you still have Aaron Rodgers, who seems to always be our weakness. But
yeah, and I answered this one earlier, actually.
Okay.
Whenever you have 12 back there, it's you have a great team, no matter what. Like it showed. You got shut out against the Minnesota Vikings without him on national TV. With Rodgers in there, you're probably going to win that game. Because they only scored like 17 points, I think the Minnesota Vikings did.
Like, even though they haven't won a Super Bowl, I think they've been to, like, 5 NFC championship games, always in the playoffs. Who, the Packers?
The Vikings did.
The Vikings,
yeah. They went to fucking 4 straight NFC championship games, lost them. They went to 4 Super Bowls. No, wait. No, they went to 4 Super Bowls and lost all of them.
I was talking about the Packers. I wasn't talking about the Vikings.
Oh, yeah, the Packers have 4 titles. I don't think their head coach is good, but,
That's what I'm saying. Like, they still, like, make it to the playoffs with just Rodgers and pretty much nothing else.
Yeah.
Like, their defense is ass. So
if they had Bill Belichick, they'd have, like, 7 titles with Rodgers.
Eagles fans aren't bad winners. It's the haters and trolls that are bad swallowers.
Yeah. Any good questions?
I'm looking. For Nitro Freak, was the Yankees winning it all emotional in 2009?
Yes, because it was the first time. It was the first time I've like really been into a team the whole year.
And they won it all.
Yeah, and they won it all. But that was expected because they got a lot of key acquisitions in the offseason. But this Eagles team is different because nobody expected it. And it's funny because I brought up this earlier in the year. I was like, when a team in Philly has no pressure to perform, that is when they usually win. And that's what happened with this team. Even though we went to the Super Bowl, was there pressure? Absolutely not. And you saw it during the week when Fletcher Cox was wearing the mask at the press conferences. Like, everyone was so loose and fun.
Mhm.
Like, and you just knew they were going to win. It was just crazy.
Who do you want for the opening game on Thursday night?
Minnesota Vikings.
That's what it looks like to me too, honestly.
I'd either want the Vikings. There's two teams. There's only two teams who I think we'd get. Number 1, Minnesota Vikings. Number 2, the Dallas Cowboys.
I could see that. I don't know if they want it. I mean, I could see the Cowboys, I guess.
You know how big the ratings would be for that game?
Yeah, that would be huge.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind the Giants either, but we always beat them.
We need more linebacker and safety depth.
Yeah.
Yes and no, I guess. I mean,
we actually need depth everywhere, to be honest with you.
But every team does, you know.
Yeah.
So. Rodney McLeod over 8. We need a real strong safety. I don't know. He had like one big play in the Super Bowl, didn't he? He had like a nice hit, I think, if I remember right.
Well, I know Jenkins had the best hit, but yeah. Someone said, "What about the Saints opening night?" I don't like that.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I just don't like it.
we would lose. No, I'm kidding.
Nah, I'm not concerned about losing now. We're winners, but the Saints, it's not a good like opening game. Like, nobody cares. It's
About
like
the Saints, yeah. Drew Brees and Sean Payton, that's about it. I mean, they have a good team now, but it's the Saints.
yeah. Should the Eagles keep Patrick Robinson? Yes, absolutely.
It's going to be hard with our free agents. He's like the only one I really want to keep, him and like Bradham, I guess. I mean, I guess you got to say goodbye to Blunt, even though Blunt played a great game in the Super Bowl.
I don't know if we can say goodbye to him. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of him. I never was a huge fan of him. I'm just being honest. I think he's kind of slow, but he gets the job done in key games. I got to give it to him. But yeah, I think we do let him go. I don't think we should let him go. I think he goes back to the Patriots if we do let him go. So I don't know. Not sure.
Do we leave Darby on the outside or have Sidney Jones take over?
Sidney Jones.
And
That's pretty simple too, because I don't like Darby.
I know Darby's been up and down, to say the least.
Yeah.
They said keep Darby. Jones will play the nickel. That's what somebody said.
I don't like it. Nah, I don't like it. I think Sidney Jones has to go in there as his natural position because you put him in there. I mean, he was supposed to go top 10, and he tore his Achilles. And honestly, we don't know if he's ever going to be the same player, like I said, but we won a championship, so it really doesn't matter now.
Yeah.
You know, so the pick looks a lot better than it was. So, I mean,
there's actually a lot of questions here. Wow. Someone says I have Houston versus Philly for Super Bowl 53. That'd be a great game.
It's not a bad prediction.
I mean, it's Deshaun Watson looked like a god before he got hurt.
Looked better than Wentz, honestly.
I don't know about that, but only team I think that could beat the Pats in the AFC is the Texans. But if the Jags make the playoffs again, they'll give the Steelers problems again. Yeah, we'll see. Teams that lock up home field are 12-2 and make a Super Bowl appearances since 2011.
Big. What's the stat on teams winning the Super Bowl and then going back and not getting to the postseason?
I feel like it's not as high lately because the Patriots always win and they always get back. True. But Denver didn't make it back. Carolina didn't make it back to the playoffs or winning the Super Bowl. So we have Denver, Patriots twice. Seahawks made it back.
Green Bay didn't make it back.
Yeah, but like recent 5 years, usually the teams that made it back, but Denver.
Yeah. Denver was awful this year.
Someone says Foles over Dak. That's obvious.
I mean, that's obvious. Dak is like the 7th best QB in the
Wentz and Foles, the best two quarterbacks in the division.
No, these are the best QBs, okay? You got Wentz, Foles. Then you have Kirk Cousins, all right? Then you have Eli Manning. Then you have Alex Smith. Then you have Trying to think. No, then you have Geno Smith, and then you have Dak Prescott.
Now you're trolling.
Nah, I'm serious, dude.
You'll like this one. Wentz on one leg over Dak with two legs.
Yeah. Now, I used to actually think Dak was pretty good until I saw him last year. He played like a little bitch.
What position do you want first round in the draft?
Defensive tackle. You could never have too much pressure.
I guess I agree with this guy. Linebacker or a corner or safety.
Yeah. Well, how old's Malcolm Jenkins?
30.
Really?
Yeah.
He has about a couple years left.
Oh well, and he'll be gone. I don't really care about.
What an underdog, man.
Yeah. He got his ring, you know.
Yeah.
Donnell Pumphrey gets a ring.
Fuck it, dude. I hate Donnell Pumphrey.
Stephen Means got a ring.
Did everyone on the practice squad get a ring?
I don't know, but it's weird how they had all the injured people talk at the ceremony. They wanted them to feel like included and shit. Even fucking John Dornbos gets a ring.
He wasn't even on the team.
I know.
Do you like Rasul Douglas?
He's great. He's a great depth player. I mean, he's a third round pick, so we hopefully at least we got something. So, and he definitely played well.
Yeah.
Honestly, before this season, did you see us winning the Super Bowl? No, I just winning the division at 9-7. That was my prediction.
I had us going 11-5. Darius, shout out to him. Fly Eagles Fly TV. He had us going 12-4. He didn't have us going to win the Super Bowl, but he definitely had us going to the playoffs, making a run. Mm-hmm. And so he's the closest, so I have to give him props on that. But I had 11-5. Which
free agents would you re-sign? For me, I would just say Bradham is probably the biggest one. I mean, I would like Patrick Robinson, but I think he's going to get paid probably. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to see.
Yeah.
And then you have Blunt too, but I don't know. I think Blunt's gone.
Yeah, Blunt was a 1 year. It's like they went for the kill. Like you have to give. No one's giving credit to Joe Douglas, man. Mm-hmm. Like I mean, when he brought this guy in here, he just turned everything around, and everyone's like, "How he's the best GM of all time?" And I'm like, dude, Joe Douglas helped him out.
Yeah, I guess, like Kelsey said, Howie was in a dark room for a year, so he came out a different man, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
honestly,
weird.
I like that Chris Long is back. Like, that's pretty – Chris Long played fucking amazing this year. Did he not?
Wait, what?
Chris Long played fucking amazing this year. For what we thought we were getting, we thought we were just getting like a rotational, like a Connor Barwin type player.
No, I knew we were getting with Chris Long. The guy just won a Super Bowl championship.
But he made some big plays this year, really big plays in playoff games. So. That's what I said. I'd rather take Long over Blunt. That's just me.
Yeah, we're gonna answer some more questions, then get out of here because we're running an hour and 20 minutes.
Trey Burton's a free agent too. I guess we got to re-sign him, or he might get paid just off that Super Bowl fucking throw. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely. All right. Is there any more questions? I'm looking right here. Top 5 draft prospects. What do you think?
I guess you got to go with the quarterbacks. The number one quarterback for me, I'd probably say Darnold at this point. That's my number one. I know. I just feel like the raw talent is there. I also like Baker Mayfield too. But
my guy is Josh Smith from Wyoming.
Josh Allen, you mean?
Yeah, Josh Allen, not Josh Smith. Allen's my guy.
Also, Saquon Barkley. I don't think you can go wrong with him. I don't think he's going to be like a Trent Richardson type.
I hope he drops to 32.
I know. It's definitely a top 5 pick. All right, last question is kind of interesting. Where will Kirk Cousins end up?
A team that wants just a guy.
Just a guy. Overpay for just a guy.
Yeah. All right. What team do you think will draft Saquon Barkley? The New York Giants. I just think their running game's been atrocious for years, and he can do everything. He could pass block. He could go out for catches. He can run the ball like a stud. They're going to get him. I'm not happy about it, but they're going to get a stud, and that's where it's going to go.
It's going to suck. They're going to have Odell and Barkley. That's fucking annoying.
Yeah, they have talent on that team for sure.
They still don't have an O-line, so does it really matter?
Well, they could go for depth in the second or third round, or they could trade up.
I know there's no like good O line where they're like in the top 5 or that's worth taking. So
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to get Barkley. That's honestly their biggest need. They're going to stick with Eli for at least 1 more year or 2 more years.
mhm.
They don't need a new QB. They really don't. Like, I mean, Eli's not great, but he's still serviceable.
I guess they're gonna. I mean, they'll need a new
Killed
one.
us.
They'll need a new one next year. Then I feel like every year they're gonna like it's coming to an end.
Yeah, he killed us though. Like, I mean, the game we went to, I think he passed on us for like 440 yards or something.
He looked like Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He also looked like Nick Foles in the Super Bowl, but he didn't win.
Yep.
Say goodbye to Sproles. Sproles out of here.
Nah, he'll be back. He's coming back for 1 more year.
So you want to reset? So Sproles or Blunt?
Oh shit.
Plus, and then you got to pay Ajayi in a couple of years, and then honestly, you're going to have to pay Clement too eventually.
I can't believe we're talking about this shit. Yeah, it's a little stressful. I guess you bring back Blunt.
Blunt over Sproles.
Yeah.
It sucks. I wish some of these guys could just retire so we don't have to like make these decisions. It'd be easier.
Yeah, I mean Sproles, like, come on, I love the guy, but we need a running back over a kick returner, and it showed this year.
Yeah. All right. If anybody has any more questions or everything else to say, Kyle, you want to close it down, wrap it up?
No, I'm just gonna give you my final thoughts on the show. Eagles fans, we finally did it. Embrace this for about a month and a half. Then we got the NFL draft. We have a lot of sports to talk about: basketball, baseball. We're gonna do the rundown. I might go to the Sixers game tonight because the tickets are cheap. But get ready for the NFL draft. Have a great rest of your weekend, and your Birds once again are Super Bowl champions. And that's all I gotta say.
Insane, guys. I mean, Nitro put it great. I think all you gotta do is watch the Jason Kelsey speech over again to just he says it all about the 60 years worth. Jason Kelsey says it. We're champions. No one can ever take that away from us. We will always be the best team of the 2017-2018 season. We have the best fans. We're going to continue to prove that. And honestly, people are going to wake up now and recognize us as one of the best franchises in the league, which has been that way for years. But now we finally have the Super Bowl to back it up. It's a great day, guys. It's something we never thought we would see, and we're so blessed that we are finally Super Bowl champions.
Couldn't have said it any better, brother. All right. I'm Kyle. That's Scotty.
And your boy, Scotty.
All right. Have a great day, guys.
Until next time. Peace.